I just love that intro song. I really do. It's just such a good choice for this show.
I know. It's so good. It's so good.
Hi, Jenny. Sorry, I know we were running a couple minutes late. Thanks for
Oh my
joining.
goodness. Jenny's here already?
I
Holy
know.
moly.
Hi, everybody.
Hi. Hello.
Hello.
So welcome to Moment of Presence. Since I usually forget to, introduce myself. I am Michelle with Moksha Grace Coaching, and I am a emotional liberation coach, and I help others and myself. I help others manage their emotions so that their emotions are not managing and taking over their life and running their life. So that way you can have more calm, more peace, not get so overwhelmed, and you can understand where that's coming from so that in the future you can stop it and be proactive about it before, again, those little gremlins take over. So that is what I do. I love what I get to do. And that's a little bit about me. And Krista, why don't you tell us a little bit about you?
Sure, I'm kind of gonna do it in the same style as you, because that was I was as I was listening to you describe yourself, I'm like, oh, I could easily turn this into operation. So, hi everybody, I'm Krista Barone, Wicked Wisdom Consulting. What I do is I help people manage their businesses so their businesses don't manage and take over them. I help
you do.
get technology in line, automation in line, just general business operations, marketing, website, all sorts of stuff. So that sounds like something you need. You can reach out to me and find me at wickedwisdomconsulting.com and reach out anywhere that I am, which is same Wicked Wisdom Consulting or Wicked Wisdom Consulting. Oof. I got thrown off by a notification. I'm sorry. I got to turn that off when I'm on.
I know. So, what is so interesting about both of those intros is that it is, we all have this illusion of having control.
Mm-hmm.
We want control,
Mm-hmm.
and we think we can control things that are outside of ourselves. And operations would definitely be one of those.
Mm-hmm.
However, like you said, when you have certain things in place, you have more control because you've put them in place.
Mm-hmm.
Where if you don't, things can get chaotic very easily.
We just talked about this like last week or something where we were talking about this, and I said part of why I love operations is because it does give me a sense of control, and it relieves my anxiety that way. Oh, we talked about it on the show.
Yeah.
What word were we talking about? I can't remember. Maybe it was the word control. It was.
Yeah. Probably. Oh, because we were talking about spirit last week.
Yes, and you were saying
finished with void and spirit.
Yes, and you were saying control like makes you feel in a box, and I was like, control I love because it's
Right.
like operations. It's putting controls in place. Sorry.
You get two different sides of the stick with the two of us having these conversations. So if you haven't been joining us for the last 6 weeks, we have been on a journey talking about literally the elements and how they impact your life and how you can utilize the elements to help you rebalance your internal world and your daily life. And so today we're kind of summing it all up and putting it all together. So I'm surprising everybody, including Krista, because, that's what I do. I'm an Aries. Please take out a pen and paper if you have them, readily available. You can just contemplate this stuff too, but writing it down would be easier. And I'm just going to ask you 5 simple questions. And I don't want you to overthink it. I just want you to write down the first thing that comes up into your mind from your heart and just write it down. Because this is something that you can do every single day that is going to help you live authentically. We can email this out. If you're on the email list, we can definitely email these questions out afterwards. And there's something else that I want to add to that at the end, which is another little surprise, but we'll get there. All right. So The elements help us live authentically. We are made up of water. We all know that, flowing, and that's where we want to be. Is we want to be in flow. What does that mean? That means that we want to be adaptable. We want to be able to just, if something changes, instead of resisting it or fighting it, we just, okay, we can turn on a dime. We don't have to take it personal. We don't have to fight it. We can just, okay, this happened, good, bad, I don't know. Let's move forward. Very challenging to do. I was at a retreat last night. It was beautiful. It was at the beach. It was cold. It was windy as all heck. But it was beautiful. And we had a really a good conversation about some of this last night. All right. So number one question, you can ask these questions the morning, the evening. You can pause, ask it in the middle of the day, or when you're not feeling like you're feeling like something's off. Number one, what will ground me today?
You want us to be answering these right now, right?
Yeah, just write it down. First thing that comes off your head, your mind. What will ground you today? And if anyone wants to share in the chat, please have at it.
I'm pretty sure she's gonna make me share, so don't feel bad.
What thoughts do you need to release or invite in? I agree, Jenny. Breathing is very important. What thoughts do you need to release or invite in? What action or passion wants to come forward today? What emotion are you feeling and how can you honor it? And the last one is, how can you connect to something greater than yourself today?
I actually have good answers to this.
So, did you notice anything about my 5 questions?
There were more than 5.
No, they weren't. 1, 2, 3.
You combined 2 and 1 at one point.
Oh, okay.
That's what I mean.
Did you happen to realize that they aligned with the elements?
I'm gonna be honest with you, I did not listen that closely to just stick with that. So I'm glad you said it. I had a feeling you were going to do something.
So, what will ground me today would be a earth question, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Jenny said breathing.
That was the answer to 1.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yes, I believe so. My answer is I want to go walk outside in bare feet in the grass.
Oh, funny! I've said I need to put my hands in soil.
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
Then what thoughts do I need to release or invite in? That's actually what do you think that is?
Air?
Yeah.
Nailed it.
And Jenny said breathing.
No, she said breathing in number 1. Positive affirmations was number 2.
Positive affirmations. Sorry. Which is absolutely correct. Thoughts, releasing, inviting in. Perfect.
What did you say?
What thoughts do I need to release or invite in? Acceptance.
Acceptance. Okay.
Acceptance. Radical acceptance.
I love radical acceptance. I said let go. Classic.
And guess what? There's a new moon, and it's a perfect time to release on the
There you
27th.
go.
So 3 days. What action or passion wants to come forward? What element do we think that is?
Fire.
Yes.
Nailed it. Three
What
for
did you
three.
What did you say?
I said entrepreneurship, weirdly enough. There's some things I want to get done today that I'm stoked about. Obi. If anyone doesn't know, Obi is her beautiful horse.
And I would absolutely agree with that.
Yeah.
Like that he's beautiful, but also that would be a passion that needs to come forward today.
Ooh, I just saw 11:11 on our timer.
Well, there you go. We need to write that down. Please give him a sugar cube from Aunt Michelle, because I like to.
You can have two. Give him one from me too.
Okay, and
Or just
maybe
give
an
him like a little nose nuzzle.
or an apple. What emotion are we feeling, and how can we honor it?
Yeah.
What element?
Mine. Oh. Water. No. Is it? Interesting.
Mhm. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, because it's a feeling. It's from within. It's your.
I love your answer, Jenny.
I know, they're so amazing. If anyone else wants to get in on this, we're having fun. So just answer the question as I'm reading them. And we have more to go through. Okay.
What was your answer?
Oh, what emotion am I feeling, and how can I honor it? I'm feeling inspired, and going back up to fire, there's this creativity that is like just it's like this burning craving,
Mm-hmm.
I guess,
Mm-hmm.
and I haven't been able to quench it. And so I want to do some writing, and
Mhm.
I really want to do some writing, and I really want to get that writing up on Substack. That is like something I really, really want to do. Like it keeps calling to me. So that's something I'm going to be working on. Okay, last one in this series. How can I connect to something greater than myself today?
Another great answer from Jenny. That's obviously spirit.
Yes, I was going to say what element.
Stop
And
clicking the comment. I'm trying to put it up.
so we're both clicking it.
Great answer, Jenny. Love it.
Yes. I meditated this morning. I meditated this morning to actually a Course of Miracles meditation. So it was a specific connection that I was making. So just being still and just allowing that to keep coming up. So
Okay.
yeah, absolutely.
Mine's prayer.
What?
Mine is prayer.
Yes. And that's like the best part about meditation, prayer, stillness, being. It's all the same. It just depends on what you believe in. But it's all about bringing the quiet within so that you can hear the whispers from whatever you believe in that's going to speak to you and give you the answers that you seek.
It's so funny, you know what that makes me think of instantly? That scene from Eat, Pray, Love when she's praying and then the whisper comes through in her own voice. That's such a beautiful depiction of getting guidance from a higher being.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I love when I just get like inspired
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know like where'd that come from?
Yeah.
How'd that happen?
Mm-hmm.
Like the thing with Substack. Like I'll be doing something and then all of a sudden Substack will pop up and I'm like, dang it, I meant to do that. And then I didn't do it. And so like the universe is getting very pushy because it's coming up more and more and nudging me more and more. So yeah. So, okay, we're going to review real quick what we've talked about as far as the elements, and then we're going to talk about how do we know when we're off and how can we rebalance, right? Because that's what we promised last week, and we deliver on our promises. So, elements, earth. What do you think of?
Grounding, aka putting your hands or feet or body in the earth, on the earth, so in the grass and the dirt and the sand.
Stability.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I skip ahead?
No, you're right.
Oh, okay.
No, that was perfect. Also, stability, grounding, support. Some things that you can do is connect your body to the physical world. Hence why we said, putting our hands in dirt, walking around in bare feet. Also, what are you
Hold on.
putting?
When you walk on bare feet, you can't just walk on any surface though. Like you can't walk on like laminate flooring. That's not grounding. Like you need to get on a natural material. So like if you have like natural pavers, that'll work. The actual grass, the ground, sand, things like that. It's got to be a natural stone or substance. It can't just be like any ground.
Great point.
Yeah. Just
Even if you could even jump in mud puddles.
If that's what floats your boat, sure, why not?
What you put into your body is also a way of grounding too. So eating nourishing food.
Yeah, savory foods too, right?
Yeah,
Sure,
absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Organize anything that gets you into your senses. Would you say? So like even looking intently at things or listening closely to something, smelling something, eating savory foods. Yeah, really grounds you in your body.
It absolutely does. Walking in the sand is the best. Sitting in the sun, that can be very grounding too. For me, because it feels like I'm melting. So, so one of the and the other one is organizing your space. When you're getting what's it called? Mind effed by your surroundings because you have so much overstimulated. You can ground yourself by simply organizing. And if it's overwhelming to do a whole room, do a corner at a time. Just do a corner at a time.
So much about me, but anyway.
One of the questions you can ask yourself to see, am I feeling balanced in this area? And remember the things that we've talked about in the past. And I'm saying this to everybody. Feel in your body when I say this. Do you feel lighter or heavier? And then put in the comments which one. And you can put L or H, light or heavy. Well, no, you have to kind of put where. So the question is, where do I need more stability or support today? That is a way for you to ask yourself where you need more stability and figure out, am I off balance?
I am very confused about how those two things connect. So
yeah, I know I confused it. So you could say, I need more stability in my life. If you feel lighter, then you're good. If you feel heavy, it's true.
That's so interesting because I would have thought it was the opposite. To me, if I feel heavier, that means I'm very weighted to the earth, which means I'm very grounded. Whereas if I feel too light, it's almost like I feel like I'm going to float away. That would tell me that maybe I'm not as grounded.
I was looking for my
hypnotizing disc. What was that?
Need more stability in headspace, though. Yeah, I need more stability right now in my headspace. Honestly, I'm glad that you felt lighter, Jenny. It's really all about you. And what I was looking for was my pendulum, because our bodies are like a pendulum. And so if you feel that a truth is going to feel lighter or it's going to feel heavy, is true for you.
Yeah.
But for me, it may be the opposite. So you have to test that out. I am, if you say I am magnificent or I am perfectly organized and you feel heavy, then that is not the truth. And so that heavy would be your negative, would be your no. Yeah. So you can test that out just like you would with a pendulum. Yeah. Really.
And this is such a great point to remember. I mean, I feel like we say it all the time, but so much is so dependent on the individual person. It is there's very little that is the same for every person.
And isn't it interesting that in what is one of the things that, we're told in the Bible, know thyself. We're told in the Bible, know thyself. To know thyself is to know the higher power. Is there a connection there? Interesting.
Sounds like it.
Okay, so air, clarity. What else?
Breathing, singing. I even would say maybe like dancing because you're moving in the air.
Thoughts. speaking, talking,
Thoughts. Humming.
humming, writing.
Yeah.
So obviously, I need some air because that's one of the things I'm craving. So bringing awareness to your breath, like Jenny was talking about,
Yeah.
uh, journaling your thoughts,
Hmm.
spending time in fresh air. That's it.
Listening to music.
Um, yeah, I
Maybe
mean, for
No Air
me,
by Jordan Sparks.
uh, yes, and that could also be fire too, because
Yeah.
music would be dancing and singing, but
Yeah.
singing is music too. So yeah, air. And I mean, there's not rules to this,
Yeah.
right? There's no rules. It's what does it matter? What does it mean to you?
Yeah.
What does it mean to you? Okay, so what mental clutter needs clearing? What new ideas are coming in? That is the question to ask yourself if you are balanced or imbalanced with air, or a question.
Ask it. Say it again.
What mental clutter needs clearing?
Hmm.
What new ideas are coming in? Now, if you feel blocked, then obviously, yeah, you need some air.
Yeah.
You need some air. Um, okay. So fire, my favorite. I just love fire.
You're
Uh,
such a, you're such a fire.
I'm such a fire. I'm so fire. Uh,
Okay.
unlike fetch. So passion. What else is fire?
Laying in the sun, crackling fireplaces, bonfires,
Mm-hmm. What else?
maybe hot water. I don't know. Maybe something like tea and coffee,
Yeah.
or maybe like a chai tea,
Mm-hmm.
something like that.
Yeah. Could be transformation.
Wearing red
Wearing
or
red.
orange or yellow.
Being surrounded by red in some way, shape, or form.
Gee,
Um,
you can't tell that you're fire at all with your red shirt, your red pillow, your red flowers, and your red screen.
Nope, not at all. Action, taking some kind of action, like Jenny said, writing.
Hmm.
That's a good one. So the question, where do I need to take action or speak up? So if you're feeling like low in fire, if you're not feeling motivated, the question that you can ask yourself is, where do I need to take action? Where do I need to speak up?
I'm noticing my desk has so much red and orange and pink. I've got I've got pink and orange and red everywhere around me. I've never noticed that before. But ironically, the room I'm in is blue.
I love it. Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Water.
My favorite.
What is it?
Um, well, you seem to be doing the word, so hit us with a word that represents water first.
Emotions.
Okay, emotions. The moon.
The moon.
Taking a shower, going in the pool, going in the ocean, a lake, crying,
Flow.
drinking water,
Flow.
hydrating, flow,
Flow. Flow.
snow, sleet, hail, rain. Um, our bodies are 75, or what did we looked it up a few of in the water episode. Our bodies are technically only like what 60%. I was taught 75 in school, so either the education system failed me or the internet's lying. Probably the first.
So tuning into your feelings and honoring them, super important. Uh, drinking water with intention.
You know, now I just got why you're not a big water drinker. Because does the water put your fire out? No, because you're actually no, you're half fire, half water, so you don't have an excuse. You need to feed your water more.
Interesting. Yes. Taking mindful shower to connect. You can connect through music as well. So that would be the vibration, right?
Okay.
Water has vibration.
Hmm.
Uh,
Probably
oh,
eating high water food as well, like watermelons, lettuce,
yes.
celery, things like
Ooh,
that.
popsicles. Slushies.
Did your 7-year-old self just come out for a second? Ooh, popsicles.
Letting stuff. Yes, this is a great comment, Jenny. Yes, absolutely. Letting stuff flow past you. Do not build a beaver dam so that you can hold on to everything that is bothering you. Don't
Yeah.
do that. Let it flow past you. I was talking about this last night. Be the sky. Let the thoughts be the clouds. Let them flow past you.
Or said another way, be the ocean and watch the seaweed float by.
Yes. Or the fish.
Be
Swim
be
by.
be the earth and watch the birds fly by. Be the air and watch a bee fly by. Whatever element you wanna be in for that.
Yeah.
Oh, they are, Jenny.
They are. Watermelon is amazing. Okay. So the question to ask is, where am I resisting flow? So where in your life do you feel you're not flowing?
Mhm.
And then the question would be, what emotions need to be released or
Mm,
felt?
mhm,
Because how do you release an emotion? You feel it and let it go.
mhm.
It's actually when we hold on to the emotion
Or
and
avoid
we
it.
yes, we're avoiding it, we're resisting it, but we're also trapping it within our body, which then causes dis-ease. And I have a whole metaphysical book I can look into, and you can tell me what's ailing you, and I can probably ask you a question that is going to resonate with you and bring something up.
Well, and
So,
here's the thing too with that is every time you avoid or push down an emotion, when it's the same emotion, especially, and you're doing it over and over again, you're
mhm.
now creating more and more layers that you then have to work through to finally let that thing go.
Oh, heck yes.
Yeah. So the more you avoid grief, the more you avoid shame, the more you avoid frustration, the more you avoid anger, you're just piling the levels on. And so you release one, you feel really good, and then it comes back and go, I thought I let this go already. No, baby girl, you got a lot of layers that you got to work through.
Yep. And each one can be deeper. See, I just got another notification from Substack. Every time you push it down, it's getting deeper and deeper and
Yep.
heavier and heavier. And you've got to decide, like, when are you tired of carrying that load?
Yep.
And if you just drop it and you move through it,
Mm-hmm.
then I saw something yesterday that said you don't let go of grief. You heal with grief, which I thought was really interesting. What did you think? I said grease?
I thought you said grease, and all I could think of was grease lightning.
Grease
Can you
lightning.
say that line again, please? I was too distracted by thinking of the movie
It
Grease.
was you don't let go or get through grief.
Mm-hmm.
You heal with grief.
Hmm.
Grief is love.
Yeah.
Because think about it, you're not going to grieve something that you didn't love.
Yeah.
Ain't true. You're not going to. So it just means that you loved at a really deep level,
Mm-hmm.
and it's there, but just in a different form,
Yeah.
whatever that is. Okay, spirit, uh, connection.
Yeah. Prayer, meditation,
Mm-hmm.
um, honestly, being in nature. I even feel like anything that um anything that makes you feel close to God, anything that makes you feel close to the universe, anything that makes you feel tuned in, I would
Mm-hmm.
say is a form of spirit.
Yeah.
So for some people, that's maybe making art. For some people, that's being out in nature. For some people, that's meditation. For some people, it's whatever gets you in that tuned in state.
What's really cool is for me, when I meditate, there are times that I'll meditate and I'll pick up my journal and I'll just start writing without thinking.
Hmm.
And all of a sudden, it's like I'm channeling. And I'll look at the words afterwards and I'm like, who wrote this?
Hmm. It's always,
So,
I love doing that because sometimes it'll even be written like there'll be distinctive different tones in what I've written, which is where it gets real cool.
yeah, very cool. and you can try to identify like somebody sending you a message or like what was going on, like it was somebody specific.
Yeah.
So connection, awareness, presence,
Maybe even
being.
physical touch, hugs,
Yeah,
things like that.
as long as you're in the physical connection and you're actually thinking, feeling, and you're
Yeah, this
being
isn't
in the
like a side
moment.
hug with like a coworker. Like I'm
Right.
talking about sharing a hug with someone you love, not like a oh hey how you doing, not like a weird aunt who only shows up to every couple of holidays. Like sharing a hug with someone you love, even cuddling with an animal,
Right, exactly,
anything that
exactly.
releases oxytocin, really.
Yes. Because you're sharing energy with that person
Yeah.
or with spirit. Because when you're being still and you're being present, you're being in the moment, you're having connection, which is also a form of relationship, and you have to have relationship with your higher self, with the divine,
Yep.
uh, because that's how it works. That's how it works. Okay, so cultivate stillness. You can have a sacred time of every day. Mine is first thing in the morning on the majority of my days. Meditate, pray, simply connect to the higher self. And it can be as simple as, Lord, please help me today with XYZ.
Yeah.
God, please be with me today. Sing Jesus Take the Wheel. Yeah.
Because as we discussed on a previous episode, you have to ask. You cannot just
Yes.
assume that anything, anybody, any deity, any energy is going to help you. You have to ask, and you have to ask something or somebody specifically.
And be very careful who it is you're asking, as you so eloquently said in our last show. So,
Clip coming soon.
clip coming soon. So, each, as we've discovered, each element carries with it a extremely unique energy that also goes with it.
Yep.
And when you're out of balance, when you are like truly self-aware, you can understand what feels off, and then how do I restore that balance or the harmony. You know me, I like harmony more than balance. So if the example is, if there's too much heat, what can you do to cool things down?
Also said, if there's too much fire, what do you do? You could, I mean, it's kind of a twofold answer, right? So if there's too much fire, you either need to put the fire out or you need to boost the other elements. So it could look
Mm-hmm.
like introducing some water that'll help kind of
Mm-hmm.
tone down the fire, which kind of serves two purposes. If you introduce air, you have the potential of fueling the fire. So maybe go with something
Mm-hmm.
like water. Whereas ground, I mean, if we think of snuffing a candle, ground will put the fire out. So you could introduce some ground, but you want to be careful not to introduce too much earth.
Right. And you also have to decide, do I want to put the fire completely out, like I'm angry, or am I just almost like manic with an idea and I'm
Yeah.
so excited and I just need to like calm down so I can actually write everything down or plan it out? Because that too, you've got to kind of slow it down a little bit. You can get a little too excited and overwhelm. That used to happen to me when I worked in corporate and I would go visit families. If I was in a really good mood, the worst thing to do would be to go in the next room and bring that same energy, because I don't know what I'm walking into. It could be a situation where the person's like on their deathbed. I can't be walking in with like, hi, Miss Peppy. So it's so important to understand this.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, you can bring in some more flow. You can, maybe the person that you're going to see or have lunch with, or maybe you need some of my fire. So maybe what I can do is come in with a little more flow, and I can share my energy with you, but I have to kind of meet you a little bit where you are, not let the air and the water or whatever else put my fire out, because that's my energy. So you've got to separate it, but you can still share the energy.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does. I think that's a little bit of a complex process that I would love for us to even go into some of the more simple examples of just like, so we'll call it in the everyday
Okay.
tongue. Let's talk about someone like the basic scenario. So
Overwhelmed with emotion, anxiety, lots of feelings coming up all at once.
probably means you're overwhelmed in water.
Mm-hmm.
You could introduce the other elements. I was even thinking like with fire, if you're lacking in fire, you're probably going to feel not super passionate about anything. You're going to feel pretty down, uninspired, tired, low energy, bored. You need to introduce some fire. You need to put yourself out there, get yourself out of the comfort zone, do something that's taking action. You need to look at a fireplace. You need to sit in the sun, soak up some of that fire.
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't cried in weeks or months,
Depressed.
Jenny just said if you're depressed, that's another low fire typically. If you don't cry a lot, low in water. Get in the pool, get in the shower, take a bath, get in a lake or an ocean, look at water.
Yeah.
Wear blues. Put a blue wallpaper on your phone or your computer, so every time you go on your computer, you see blue.
Yeah.
If you're clearing your throat a lot, or your sinuses are really dried out,
Right.
or your eyes are dry, your throat is dry, your mouth is dry. What else would be low air?
It's hard to breathe. You can't take a deep breath.
Hard to breathe. Maybe your mind is super going crazy. That would be introduced air. So all the stuff we've talked about to boost your air would be helpful.
Yeah.
Earth, like if you're, go ahead.
I was going to say, don't forget spirit and the void, right?
We haven't even talked about earth yet, too. Yeah.
And I'm going to use Obi as an example.
Jenny's
Obi, I can imagine. Yes, Obi is Jenny's horse. Obi would be an animal, right? Just a lovely dogs that we definitely cuddle with. But I can imagine, like, okay, to help get some fire for me, because I don't have a horse, but I could imagine like forcing myself to go sit on Obi or just hang out with Obi might help me connect and be in the moment, because I'm like we do with our animals. We have chickens and goats we take care of.
There are goats and chickens.
Well, I know, I'm saying that we have to take care of every morning. That is very grounding for me. Yeah. And it can be very spiritual when you're sitting there and you're looking into their beautiful eyes. Mm-hmm. That's something that is amazing. We'll have to share that poem next time about the donkey, because I love that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a beautiful poem. We'll have to share it. So too much fire, overactive, angry, burned out, you can balance with water, you can balance with earth, taking a calm bath, everything that we talked about, walking barefoot, focusing on deep breath, quiet reflection. Too much air. I think did we talk about too much air, or we talked about not enough air?
I don't think we talked about too much air.
So that would be anxious. That would be anxiety, scattered. I talk about my head, like monkey mind.
You get super into your head
about absolutely. Yes.
Ruminating.
Yes. Ruminating, overthinking, getting flustered, right? Having the mind and the thoughts just coming at you like crazy. Do something tactile. Go outside, garden, cook.
Now, I feel like earth is an interesting one to balance it with, because earth would be a bunch of things that produce more air. So would you actually want to do fire, because fire sucks in air and takes the air out of things? So yeah. You actually may want to do, so earth would play well with air, where fire, because think about it, how do you put out a fire? You remove the oxygen,
right?
The air. So air feeds the fire sucks it out. So that's interesting.
Well, and it depends on whether you're looking at earth as stability or snuffing out, grounding.
And this is where a lot of playing with what works for you and what works for you in the moment.
Exactly. Oh, Jenny's looking at Obi out the window. Hydrate, taking a shower, that's very calming. A lot of people will do that. They'll go jump in the sprinklers. Do you remember doing that when you're a kid? Like the sprinklers are on, just go play in the sprinklers. Focus on grounding breath work. That's important. When you're over anxious, though, definitely bringing in the five senses. What do you hear? What do you feel?
Mm-hmm.
What can you touch?
Yeah.
You know, going through what are you getting a whiff of?
Mm-hmm.
Depends on where you are, but too much earth would be I'm stuck. I'm resistant to change. I'm rigid.
My body feels so heavy.
Yes. So,
not thinking enough. Not enough forward thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Not enough self-reflection.
Right. And so then you can bring in air because you can bring in fresh ideas. You can bring in fire for inspiration. You can
water to support the earth.
Yes. You can do something spontaneous.
Mm-hmm.
Do
Spontaneity is a huge one for fire, especially if you're deficient in fire. Force your ass out of the house.
Well, and funny because the next one I was going to say was literally shake up the energy and get moving. Dance it out.
Yeah.
Run it out. Walk it out. Do something. Brainstorm. Take a short trip. Get in the car and just drive somewhere. Shift your perspective.
Yeah.
If you're in a low area, like on your property, go in a higher one. Mm-hmm. Go on the roof. Take a look.
Safely.
What?
I said safely.
Yes, safely. Okay, so when you feel disconnected to spirit, what do you think?
You don't feel connected to God. You probably really, really not analytical, not pessimistic. You're real turned off from anything woo-woo or spiritual.
Yeah. I would even say some can get angry.
Uninspired. Angry, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, angry. Victim mode. Big victimhood would be a big one, I think. With low
feeling
spirit.
Lost and alone.
Mm-hmm. No excitement for anything.
Mm-hmm.
Lonely, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that would be when you could pick an element that you're lacking most. And that would be, again, kind of centering yourself and asking that question, like, what do I need right now?
Mm-hmm.
And let your body tell you, let your heart tell you, because it will. And
I think we did the opposite for spirit. We did low in spirit, not too much spirit.
Yeah, we did low when you feel disconnected. But choose what you're lacking most and do that, and then help you reconnect with something. Mm-hmm. And this is probably when the emotional guidance scale can come into play too, because you can work your way up. But, your pause, this is when you can take a pause and you can recenter, recalibrate yourself.
Yeah.
You can meditate. You can write down all of the things that you feel lost about or upset about or depressed about on one side of the paper. One of my favorite exercises. And then as you write down all the things you're unhappy about, look and write the opposite. If you're unhappy because you're feeling like you don't have enough money, look at what you do have.
Yeah.
How lucky are you that you have blank? And so you can, look at the duality, the other side of the stick. Mm-hmm.
Now, for all the other ones, we were just talking about if you had too much of it, and then we flipped for spirit. So what would too much spirit look like? being
You
a
know?
cheerleader. No, I'm kidding.
I
um,
mean, listen, there is something about toxic positivity.
I
And
was
so,
just about to
yes,
say, too much spirit would be honestly kind of like your mom was, which was like, I don't really need to take any action because
everything will just work out, and I'm going to put
yeah,
my head in the sand like an
yeah,
ostrich, and everything will work out because, and that's the thing. Law of attraction is so interesting, and we've talked about this so much because, you know, well, I put it out to the universe. I'm waiting,
hmm
but if you're not taking any action
yeah,
and you just have this faith that it's just going to appear at your front door, but you're not doing anything, you're
yeah.
just sitting there waiting. Let's go.
Fanatical, yeah,
Yeah.
Jenny.
Yeah. That's a good
Maybe
one.
even like cult like behavior could be too much
Yes.
spirit. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I think honestly, too much spirit. I feel like we start getting into some real controversial statements. So I think maybe we should
Well, and
stop while we're ahead.
well, I mean, the last one I'll say is probably isolation too. Like
Yeah,
I can just be alone. I don't need anybody. I don't need anybody else. I'm
yeah.
good. And
Even judgment of others, because think of people who get real super into
that
spirituality, where they
is
think
a
that they,
super
yeah,
good
that
one.
they're so into spirituality that they think that they're better than everybody else because
Hmm.
they know some little niche about something spiritual.
Yep.
That
And that
definitely,
it's it and they're right,
yeah,
and what they believe is right,
yeah,
and you become closed off, which would be another way to isolate yourself.
yeah, yeah.
So the question would be, what do I need to feel, or what do I need right now to feel whole?
Honestly, I feel like with spirit, if you've got too much, the best thing to do is ground, which would
Hmm.
be earth. What can you do to pull yourself back down to earth?
Hmm. Yeah. So,
Honestly, even with too much spirit, you get into some physical symptoms like dizziness, vertigo, feeling lightheaded, things like that, because
mhm.
that's like a disconnection from your physical body.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And so why don't we do some breathing? And
Perfect segue.
as we breathe, let's imagine that we literally put your feet on the ground, take a deep breath and hold it, and then as you release, imagine the breath going all the way down through your feet and you're growing roots into the ground.
Okay.
And that is how you're going to connect to Mother Gaia. So, big deep breath in, hold it, and then just imagine your breath going all the way down into the ground, connecting. The roots go deeper and deeper. If you can look out your window and see a tree on this next breath, imagine your roots getting closer and closer to the roots of that tree. So, big deep breath in, hold, and then exhale. Imagine those roots going closer and closer and closer to the tree out your window. And then one more big deep breath in and hold. And this time, imagine the roots actually touching the other roots of the grass and the trees, and just extending farther and farther out. How'd that feel?
Fabulous.
Everybody feel connected? And with that, tonight I'm going to be watching a rocket launch again. So look for the post later. I know. I'm like,
Rocket launches.
I know I'm kind of obsessed with it right now because it's just fun to
And
watch them and just
you're
imagine.
passionate and fired up about it.
I am fired up about it. Um, well, I hope that was really helpful. Um, and if you want to learn more on how to work with the elements within yourself, you can certainly reach out, book a call. We'll have a conversation. There's other methods, other techniques that I use to help people really become super self aware and become very I call it radical responsibility for yourself. And I think that that's really important because when you have radical responsibility, that means that you do have control over your emotions. You're managing your responses versus just willy nilly reacting and losing it. You're welcome, Jenny, anytime. And so, you can certainly reach out. You can book a call at mokshagrace.com. You can find
Slash
me
coaching.
/coaching. I also have a weekly group coaching call where we expand on these topics that we talk about each week. So you can join Odonata Community, and that is a subscription based group coaching that I offer on a monthly basis. And otherwise, you can find me on social media anywhere under Moksha Grace. And how about you, Miss Krista? Where can people find you to help them manage their business so their business doesn't manage them?
You can find me at wickedwisdomconsulting.com. Same thing on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, email, all of it. wickedwisdomconsulting.com.
Awesome. And did you notice that nothing was said about picking up your phone to help you rebalance? It was all about nature, and it
Oh,
was
you know what?
all about things to do. Yes.
I'm going to leave us off with a little thing that I put on my story yesterday that I think is very apropos for right now. It says, why would a bug spend so much... Sorry. Why a bug would spend such a long fraction of its short life immobile on my ceiling beats me. And then someone replied and said, this is how God feels when he sees us scrolling on our phones. Why should we waste so much time scrolling on our phone when there's life out there to be lived?
That
The
is such
question
a
is,
really, really good point and a great visual. Yeah,
isn't that great?
that
As
is
soon as
really,
I saw it, I was like, this is the post of the year.
yeah, that's amazing. Thank you for sharing.
Sure.
So it's all about choices. You can choose to be the bug on top of the wall doing nothing, sitting there waiting to get swatted, or you can go out there and
Phone
live
down.
life. Yeah, put the
Yeah.
phone down. And so choose to have a good day or a bad day. It is your choice. We do have control over that. So choose wisely, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thanks for being here.